we are going to be obtaining all of the starters onto a single Pokemon Uranium profile by making use of a second profile. This is the story of Wortor. Interestingly enough, we're able to run before actually receiving the running shoes. I also wanted to explore when these starter Pokemon are actually generated, and thus when and where you would need to save before a reset so that you can attempt to shiny hunt the starters or roll for better IVs. Future note, when I say I am saving and making backups of the save file, I mean I'm literally going to where the game is stored on my desktop and copying the entire save file directory out so that I can restore to some aspect of that save file directory down the line. And just before taking the aptitude test, we're going to make our first backup save instance. For the initial run, we're going to go through the entire aptitude test and get ourselves an Eletux. We're going to be naming him Tuxedo Man. And then we're going to need to sit through Theo's pick of Raptorch and fighting him with Tuxedo Man so that we could actually do a stat check and save again. Thankfully, Theo has chosen something 4 times a week to water gun. We're already running this at super speed, but for the second Eletux and the 2 copies of the grass starter we're going to run through, we're going to trim this down significantly. And we got ourselves a modest nature Eletux. So next, we're going to save, close out of the game, make a backup copy of the save file directory as it is with Tuxedo Man, and then restore back to the one from before I took the aptitude test. And we just run through all of the water type answers to the aptitude test again, and we fight Theo again and see if we have a different Eletux in Tux 2, Electric Tux Boogaloo. Curse you, name length limitations. And again, Theo's gonna be a pushover, but this Raptorch actually outspeeds me. Not that that matters all that much. And this Eletux is of the brave nature, so we know that at the very least, between aptitude tests, reshuffles RNG. Now that we know that the aptitude test is enough to shuffle RNG, we're going to go through the test for the grass type starter, save, and then just take the starter and then reset again and see if we can just take the starter again for a different result. Now that we've made the backup, we'll jump in and pick up our Orchynx. I think we're going to call this one Cheeks, and we're going to significantly speed up the dialogue here for you all. Quite glad that I decided to do the grass type at the stage after finishing the aptitude test, because this battle takes the longest anyway. There is no super effective move, Leech Seed is just chip damage over time, and normal type moves are normal type moves. On the other hand, I still don't think it's particularly possible to lose to Theo in this fight. It would take quite the effort to do so. Maybe I'll come back and explore that at a later date. I think Raptorch would be your best bet to actually lose the fight against him. Alright, Cheeks has the hardy nature. We're going to save, make a backup, and restore to before we obtain the Orchynx. Sweet, starting back over before we picked up our Orchynx Cheeks, we're going to get another one. This one's going to be Kitty. We'll cut along to the end of the fight. It was just as slow as the first one. And now we are just moments away from being able to assess what sort of nature our Pokemon has and make a backup and decide which of the 2 Orchynx, which of the 2 Eletux that I want to pass over to my main profile, or if I want to just keep re-rolling. Kitty has a timid nature. I might just continue on with Kitty here. With our file backed up, we're going to jump back in, actually claiming a mystery gift, which was active at the time. Turns out you can get mystery gifts multiple times across different profiles. In order to transfer Kitty over to our main profile, we're going to need to at least get ourselves to the first Poké Center over in Kevlar Town. Before Professor Bamb'o will get out of our way and give us Pokeballs, we need to go fetch Theo, who is currently crying in his room. I'm going to be catching the first thing I see so that I don't put extra effort values onto my starter that I'm transferring over. If that isn't important in your use case, use your starter to clear Route 1. It will go a little faster, better stat pool than a Chinmunk. And we managed to catch our Chinmunk. We will call them Cheeseborg. This puts our starter at level 6, and is a great time to run back, heal, and grab the hidden rare candy that an NPC will just give to you at the start. We'll use that to jumpstart our Chinmunk so that he has a little bit more of an advantage against wild Pokemon, and we'll see how that goes. I could always reset the EVs later if I need to use the starter to help me clear the route. And now we just need to take on Route 1. I think that the Oran berries might help me, so we will head south on Route 1 to grab the berries, just so I could have a held item potentially, or additional stat restore items. Plus there's a good chance Cheeseborg has pickup, so any fights that we get into has a chance of giving us an extra potion anyhow. Even better if it's a rare candy. Looks like we're gonna need to rely on Kitty's sheer early game bulk and the chip damage that Leech Seed will do. Orchynx seems to be the slowest starting Pokemon, just doesn't have the same sweeping potential as the others do at level 5. And we have Oran Berries, our first potential held item. I don't think it makes sense to catch another level 2. Risking things to get the solo experience onto Chinmunk kinda worked out. Still need to go back and heal again regardless. This girl is a required trainer fight. While we potentially could have dodged the one on the way to the berries, we really are stuck with this one. Kitty not having a proper stab move is a bit tedious. I'm not sure if it makes the most sense to go for maximum chip damage and using Growl to minimize the damage I'm taking, or if I should just be rushing with my own tackles and tanking whatever I need to using potions, because Chinmunk's gonna give us extra potions anyway. Quite comfortable to Leech Seed and then Growl a couple of times before swapping into the Chipmunk. Unfortunately, Gust is a special attack, so Growl doesn't do much against it. After this fight, there's an antidote over in the grass, which I want to have just in case we get caught in the final trainer battle in the route. I don't really think that I need a Cub Bug for anything on this profile, but you know what, we're gonna try and catch him anyway. The extremely low catch rate on even the starting areas never ceases to amaze me. We shall call our Cub Bug Worm. Unfortunately, we already need to heal again, but we might be able to clear the whole route now. Now that we're healed up, we should be all set to clear Route 1, especially if we're able to dodge the final trainer. A wild Cub Bug should be free experience at this point. Another level, more stats, more likely to be able to clear the route without having to back again. Ultimately, I think taking these fights is beneficial because there is a chance of getting an additional rare candy out of it. I wouldn't normally waste rare candies this early, but how many held items can you transfer with one trade? One. The Cub Bug not using Charm was heavily in our favor because we were able to just keep hitting him, get the solo XP. If he had used Charm, we would probably have had to swap. Going to use one of our potions so we don't have to double back to heal again. Alright, we managed to sneak past the trainer with the Fort Hog. That is kind of a mini-boss battle, and we were able to just bypass it, so sweet. Now we should be able to access the GTS system, and then transfer over to our main profile. I realized that posting something rarer on the GTS system is probably not the best idea, so by switching to the main profile that I'm trying to move things to, use something common as trade fodder, and specify the rare item that I would like to obtain on the main profile that I have on the secondary profile. Then I don't need to worry about my starter getting swiped up by someone else, and even if someone takes the trade fodder, the common Pokemon that I'm posting, I still get the Pokemon that I'm looking for. I had to try out Skyfall, the move that Dunserif got when it evolved, but I believe I have an Avidan in the PC that I could very easily trade shuffle over to the alternate profile. So we're going to deposit this Avidan, and then we're going to specify Orchynx as the Pokemon that we're looking for. And we should, fingers crossed, be all set to switch over to the alternate profile and then offer up the Orchynx specifically looking for an Avidan to trade. So now if we search by our Pokemon that we have that other people are looking for, I can find my other profile here with the Pokemon that I had offered. Trainer name is the same, nickname is the same, pretty good confidence that it's the exact same thing and that it's me, so I can now trade my starter over to myself. Things look good on this end, so we're going to save, and then we're going to hop over to actually receive it on the main profile. And that's how you could trade yourself through GTS and Pokemon Uranium just using a second profile. Now we're going to figure out how the GTS system handles different copies of the same profile with different progression. Before we do that, we're going to hop back onto Green Cat profile and we're going to try and pick up the mystery gift. We're just going to see if it lets us claim the mystery gift multiple times on the same profile. Different profile, but same profile. Now to keep things simple, and if you want to skip ahead, I've got to do the same thing with the Eletux version of the profile. Tuxedo Man is going to be a bit of a glass cannon, but at least he's got special attack and speed going for him. And I gotta say, even though I'm going to montage out the journey over to Kevlar Town, this does go a lot faster. I'm not actually sure if I need an additional Pokemon to be able to trade my Eletux away. So welcome to the crew, lowercase b. Shocked that I managed to dodge him twice. Alright, before we try and trade the Eletux over, we're going to set up another fodder trade on the main profile. Probably one of these Outens. We're going to deposit one of these Outen and then set up a search for an Eletux. And I just realized that there's a mystery gift for leftovers, so I can send over the Eletux with an extra set of leftover held item. And it seems there's no issue with receiving the same mystery gift on effectively the same profile twice. I claimed that mystery Pokemon on the other Wortor that had the grass starter. Alright, now I should be able to search for my own Outen and or search by the Eletux that I'm offering up for my Outen. An Outen named Newton. That's me. Okay, that's neat. There's a warning so you don't give away your held items, but also the default is no. So I gotta search again. Now I just gotta save and pick up Tuxedo Man on the main profile. Now we have all the starters on one save file. I guess it's only natural to check out the Pokédex entries for everything now that we're here. You might only get one starter, but that doesn't mean you have to stick with only one starter. If this was helpful for you, or if you just happen to enjoy me blindly stumbling around, I've got a whole playlist of Pokemon Uranium content from the beginning. We're about halfway through the story right now. Tune in for more if you want. Regardless, this has been how to trade yourself in Pokemon Uranium. Hope you have a good one.